More kiddos popping in. All right, so the warm-up, what we're waiting for everybody to pop in, hi Miku, is today is National Gumdrop Day. Do any of you guys have like a favorite flavor of gumdrops? Hi Melanie. Or should I even say, like, do you guys even eat gumdrops? Good morning, Kylie. Good morning, Isaiah. Good morning, William. All right, so the warm-up today is National Gumdrop Day. And I was asking, like, do any of you guys have a favorite flavor? And then I realized that in my second period class, my students were like, what's a gumdrop? Hi, Analia. So I thought I would just, as a reminder, these are gumdrops, right? Kind of chewy. They tend to have like sugar on the outside of them. They used to only come in like a couple flavors. And then, you know, as candy has evolved, they have gone to, you know, more and more flavors. So my original question is, what is your favorite flavor? I guess I should ask, do you guys even eat gumdrops? Or have you eaten gumdrops? Anybody? No responses, guys? You can unmute, you can type in the chat, spend some time. One of my kids was like, no, I've never eaten them. We just use them when we make our gingerbread houses. Hi, Aiden. Hi, Gabriel. So, I mean, because it's National Gumdrop Day, and some of my kiddos have said they really like it when we do food for our national days. And it's the only food that there was. And I was like, oh, gumdrops. Okay. And then, you know, I just realized, you know, after second period, maybe you guys haven't eaten gumdrops. I tend to like the green ones and the yellow ones because those are like lime and lemon. They tend to be like that sweet and sour kind of. I like sour. So there you go, William. Yep. That is my favorite. Anybody else? Have any of you, the rest of you guys, had gumdrops, or do you have a flavor that you like? Hi, Ipu. I need some responses, guys. All right. So while you guys are thinking about those, we have a lot of things that we need to talk about. So just so that you guys are aware, we're about 3 weeks out from the end of quarter 3. So a little over 2 weeks will be the last day, which is March 6th, for you guys to turn in your work for quarter 3. Not that we're going to stop working. We're going to keep working, but then anything from a certain point will then go on to quarter 4, just as a heads up, okay? Our Module 8 project, which there are 2 summatives, the closing date is coming up soon. So if you have not gotten those done, please get those done. That will help raise your grade. Module 9, Lesson 1, which is what we are finishing up with the review today, will be closing on the 21st. Your EverFi registration, probably the easiest thing ever to do, and I'm going to kind of just remind you guys on what to do on that one. Let me go to this one right here, right? So it says you're in Clever. You select EverFi, you click on the heart, and you make it a favorite. When you open up the EverFi page, you're going to have 3 boxes, lessons, courses, whatever. You're going to have the financial literacy, you're going to have marketplaces, and you're going to have money matters. Those are 3 different courses within the EverFi system. So that's like your login page, right? You're going to see 3 boxes there. That's what you're going to screenshot. You can do Control, Windows button, and print screen, and that will screenshot it for you. Put it on a document, and then you submit it in your Module 9 Lesson 1 EverFi registration assignment. It's literally 10 points to show me that, you know, you've actually gotten into EverFi, because we're going to be doing multiple assignments with this particular application. So I want to make sure you guys actually get into it and know it's there. Okay. So you need to get that done if you have not already done so. Okay. The review for Module 9, Lesson 1, that is in our lessons page, our lesson and recordings page, which is right here. Remember, we have the vocabulary, factors of production, physical capital, opportunity cost, marginal cost, services. And then there were key points. This was all in the course arc that we did. Remember, scarcity means making choices, that people's needs and wants are unlimited, but the resources are limited. And that's what causes scarcity. So now you have to make choices. And when you make a choice for one over another, you're making a trade-off. And if you're making one choice over the best alternative option, that's called your opportunity cost. We looked at that, like, if you're going to get up early to study for a test, what is the opportunity cost of that? That's giving up the sleep to get up early. We talked about needs versus wants. Needs are things you have to survive. Wants are things that you want. You have to have food. You have to have clothing and water. You may want the newest iPhone 2075 or the new, PS73. I'm just joking. I'm being facetious there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need those to survive. You want them. We talked about goods or physical objects that somebody produces, services or actions or activities that one person performs for another. We talked about how economics is a study of how people seek to satisfy their needs and wants by making those choices. Hi, Sadie. We're just kind of reviewing for Module 9, Lesson 1. We talked about how entrepreneurs are people who decide how to combine resources to create new goods and services. And anyone who opens a business, large or small, is an entrepreneur. We talked about how economists divide capital into 2 types, physical capital and human capital. Physical capital are human-made objects used to create other goods and services. And then human capital is the knowledge and skills a worker gains through education and services. And then we went through the infographic on entrepreneurs. We talked about opportunity costs. We talked about every time we choose to do something, we give up the opportunity to do something else. And that's like individuals, businesses, even governments. Remember, the guns or butter? Are you going to do like a military, or are you going to do domestic, because you can't do both with the same exact resources? We talked about making a decision on the margin. We talked about production possibilities. And remember, we looked at the curve, and it's, on each axis, that is the all of A and no B, or the all of B and no A. And so we talked about watermelons versus shoes. And then remember, we watched the video with Monsters Inc. and they talked about screens versus making sushi. Right? And then that was everything that we went through in the course arc. Remember, your course arcs give you the question bank that will show up on your quizzes. Okay? So this is in this week's lessons and recordings page. All right? And then honor lock. So I've had a few kiddos who have emailed me and said I need an access code. Guys, there's never an access code, ever. Okay. So here's the deal. Sometimes if there's been an update or this is the first time you're doing this, shame on you. You have to enable an extension. So in the announcements, and I'm going to pull up one of the home pages to show you. It takes you on a step-by-step on how you can make sure that you do what you need to do. So let me go to the page. So it just says honor lock problems. And then this is the steps you need to go through in order to double check, log out of Canvas, log out of all the Google accounts, clear the cache. Remember, I told you guys you should be doing that weekly. Make sure you are using Google Chrome, log back into your CCSD Google account and Canvas. And then there's a PDF right here to help you reload Honor Lock. If you've done all that and you're having another issue, you need to use the Honor Lock chat. That will also help you. Because at that point, because I've enabled all of your quizzes, and there's only so much I can do from IN. After you've gone through all of this, then you need to use the Honor Lock chat feature, and they can help you with that. Okay. But I just want to remind you guys, there's never going to be an access code. Okay. Coming up is Module 9, Lesson 2. We're just going to be doing the course arc for that, and then we're going to be doing EverFi, the economy. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing EverFi Marketplace, so we'll be taking our steps through that as well. So EverFi Marketplace, that is due on the 17th. EverFi the economy will be due on the 22nd. And then we're going to be going into the zombie apocalypse next week as well. Okay. As a reminder, there's no school on Monday, the 20th. And then Tuesday is small group, office hours in the morning, small group in the afternoon. Are there any questions in regards to this? No questions? All right, so I've got two videos. One is on scarcity and one is on factors of production, just to kind of help you guys out before you guys finish up and turn in your notebooks. You should have turned in your course arc already, and then work on your EverFi and your review and then your quiz. So let me pull up the videos.
Amazon offers prepaid tuition for college, GED, and ESL programs.
This is Monday Sales CRM, an intuitive CRM that helps you actually close deals. Say,
he knows a lot about all kinds of stuff, Professor Dave explains.
As human beings, what do we want and need? We certainly all need food, water, and shelter, and our wants may range from wealth to adventure to entertainment. These wants and needs are without bounds, but even though we have endless wants and needs, everything runs out. Food gets eaten, money gets spent, and the Netflix show you're currently binging has a final season. The things that fulfill our wants and needs are finite in nature. As we learned in the previous tutorial, this idea is called scarcity, and it drives everything in economics. We make personal choices, business choices, and collective choices differently, but we all do so based on scarcity. We can't do everything or have everything, so we must weigh our options and make the best choice for ourselves that we can, based on our situation. All choices involve trade-offs. A trade-off is the act of giving up one benefit in order to gain another potentially greater benefit. For example, you are benefiting from watching this tutorial right now, but you chose to watch it because the perceived benefit of watching this tutorial outweighs other things that also could benefit you. Right now, you could instead be playing video games, or fishing, or rollerblading, or watching Netflix, or building birdhouses. All of those things could benefit you, but watching this tutorial benefits you more at this moment. When a restaurant makes a choice to pay its servers higher wages, it may have to be at the cost of spending money on advertising, or buying new appliances, or even paying its custodians higher wages. When a government makes the choice to spend more money on combat drones and bombs, it may have to be at the cost of spending more money on education, healthcare, or fixing roads. Whenever we make a choice, there is always an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the next best thing we give up by making that choice. It's essentially the most desirable alternate choice, something which is useful to identify when making decisions, because it reminds us to compare the value associated with various options. Going back to our earlier example of you choosing to watch this tutorial, say you were to rank your alternate choices of playing video games, fishing, rollerblading, watching Netflix, and building birdhouses in this order. Remember, you chose to watch this video, so these are your next best choices, but your opportunity cost is watching Netflix, since that is your very next best choice, and you are giving up the opportunity to watch Netflix at this moment by choosing to watch this tutorial instead. Let's look at another example. Every night we make a choice regarding when to go to sleep. Say you normally get 8 hours of sleep, but you only get 5 hours of sleep one night since you stayed up late studying 3 hours for an economics test. Your alternatives were 8 hours of sleep and no studying, 7 hours of sleep and 1 hour of studying, or 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of studying. What is your opportunity cost? Well, it depends on who you are, but if you value studying over sleep, you might rank the options in this way, with the options becoming less desirable as the increment of study decreases. According to this ranking, the opportunity cost associated with an extra 3 hours of studying rather than 2 is the additional hour of sleep you gave up. This ranking of choices leads to the idea of something called thinking at the margin. Thinking at the margin has to do with making decisions based on small changes in the allocation of resources. So one way of framing this concept involves deciding how much more or how much less to do something, with all else held equal. Looking at the sleep versus studying example, you'd be thinking at the margin if you thought about answering the question, what is the proper balance of sleeping versus studying in order to best prepare for the test? The process of making a decision like this is sometimes called a cost-benefit analysis. To make rational choices, we weigh marginal costs versus marginal benefits. These are terms that refer to either the cost added or benefit gained that is associated with one additional unit of a good or service. In this particular case, we could consider the marginal cost of studying to be how much more tired you are the next morning due to having slept 1 hour less. Perhaps a lot more tired, perhaps it's negligible. And the marginal benefit of studying would be the information you learn or retain from one additional hour of studying. Maybe it doesn't help much, and perhaps that 1 hour raises your grade from a B to an A. If we could rigidly quantify the cost of sleeping less as well as the benefit of studying more, we could hypothetically arrive at a firm answer to this particular predicament. The average adult makes around 35,000 choices per day. Most of these choices are automatic, but the more important the choice, the more effort that typically goes into the cost-benefit analysis. Recognizing and weighing the trade-offs, thinking at the margin, and considering the opportunity cost of every choice is a mental exercise that can help make the big decisions in life a little easier. And now we understand the concepts of scarcity, trade-offs, and cost-benefit analysis.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials.
All right, so you notice, obviously, the sleep versus study is a kind of a no-brainer when we're talking about trade-offs, especially for economics, and we're talking with students, right? Because that's something that you guys can readily understand and see those trade-offs. So that was the first one, and it went through quite a bit of what we just talked about in our review. And I've got one more video on factors of production. We'll go from there.
Residency right now. Wish me luck. Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application in helping.
He knows a lot about all kinds of stuff. Professor Dave explains.
At this point in the series, we understand the concept of scarcity, and we also know how to define resources, goods, and services. But how are scarce resources turned into goods and services? To answer that question, let's take a look at the 4 factors of production. First, you need land. Now, sometimes this is literally the land, but when economists talk about land, they are talking about all of the natural resources found on the planet to help make goods or provide services. This could be fertile land for farming, but it could also be oil that comes from deep underground, or water from a river, or timber from forests. Second, you need labor. Labor is the actual physical effort we put into making goods or providing services. Whether this is a nurse taking care of a patient, an artist creating a painting, a mechanic changing the brakes on a car, or a YouTuber making educational tutorials, work has to go into producing a good or service. Third, you need capital. In this context, capital refers to any human-created resource that is used to produce other goods and services. There are 2 types of capital: physical capital and human capital. Physical capital is the physical, human-made stuff that produces other stuff or aids in the production of other stuff. For example, a tractor is physical capital because it helps the farmer plow fields to produce crops. Human capital is the knowledge and skills a person gains through both education and experience. The farmer knows how to plow those fields because they have spent years doing it. An economy needs both physical and human capital in order to function properly. For example, it's nice if the farmer has a tractor, but if they don't know how to use it, it's not going to work. The 4th factor of production is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the process of launching.
Guys, remember that was one of our questions in the notebook when we were talking about the philosopher Say, and he talked about whether or not entrepreneurs are considered the 4th factor. And I was arguing, yes, I think that they are. Some of you may think that they aren't, but obviously this gentleman thinks that they are. So this was one of the other questions we had.
Launching and running a business in order to make money. An entrepreneur takes on financial risks in the hopes of making a profit. They create new ideas and sometimes even create new markets and industries. They also manage the other 3 factors of production. A successful business knows how to efficiently manage land, labor, and capital in order to make a profit. To demonstrate the 4 factors of production, let's consider an example of a company, like, say, an artisanal coffee shop. The first factor that comes into play is entrepreneurship. One or more entrepreneurs must be inspired to sell high-quality coffee in planning to open up this coffee shop. Second, the entrepreneurs need land. This land includes where the coffee shop would be located, like perhaps this neighborhood in San Francisco. However, remember, land includes all natural resources, so fresh water and coffee beans would be included here, and the beans could actually be considered the most important natural resource. Third, the entrepreneurs need to implement labor to construct, open, and operate the coffee shop. This takes work, and they likely have to hire additional workers to help them. But who should they hire? This is where human capital comes in. They will need people with customer service skills and coffee making skills. And don't forget physical capital. The workers will need coffee bean grinders, coffee makers, espresso makers, ovens, cups, plates, silverware, and more. With all 4 factors of production met, a delightful artisanal coffee shop has been produced. So to summarize, factors of production are the resources we need to make all goods and services. However, the 4 factors of production are only the beginning, as goods and services also must be distributed. So let's move forward and learn about how trade is critically important in order for goods and services to reach the maximum amount of people possible.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, Professor Dave Explains.
All right, so literally everything that I said that we read in our course arc that I kind of just went over on the lesson 1 quiz review, and then the 2 different videos. So we've kind of hit every different way. Hopefully, you know, if what I said didn't quite connect, or with what we read over the last couple of class periods didn't quite make that connection for you, maybe watching it on the video helped you make, like, it finally, you know, flip that switch and you went, oh my gosh, I totally get it. But that's everything that you are going to have on your quiz. Are there any questions about scarcity or factors of production? I need some responses. No, Heidi, you're good. Okay. What about the rest of you? If you guys are all good, give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up reaction, please. So that I know you guys are, you're feeling comfortable and you understand. And okay, so I'm seeing some thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So the next thing, I wanted to take you guys through EverFi, just because I realize that some of you guys, even though I keep telling you, log in and do this, etc., you have to log in to EverFi through Clever. Like, you have to, because it is set up through Clever. Okay. So let me show you. So this is just my homepage, right? You guys are going to have different, you know, things that you use, like Canvas, Nearpod, just depending on what your teachers have set up for you. So you're going to see one that says EverFi. And I need you guys to make sure you click on the little heart to make it a favorite. So literally when you open it up, it automatically opens up for you. Okay. You click on EverFi. And now for me, this is what I see. These are the courses that I have available because I have a teacher account, if you will. But what you should see is one of the squares should say Money Moves. One of them should say EverFi Financial Literacy. And then one of them should say Marketplaces. Those are the 3 that you should, when you open it up, those are the 3 that you should have available to you. Any questions on that so far? Are you with me? Because not everybody has turned in their registration for EverFi. That's why I'm asking. I just want to make sure that you understand. So when you open that up, you see those 3 boxes. That's what I want you to take a screenshot of. And that is what you're going to turn in, is that screenshot. That is your registration for EverFi. So I have quite a few of you that have not done this yet. I need you to do so, please. It's the easiest 10 points you will make. Any questions on that? So heart your EverFi, click on it, take a screenshot. That is the screenshot that you are going to be turning in. Are there any questions about the Module 9 Lesson 1 quiz, or the notebook, or the course arc? No? Any questions on what is due or coming due? No, we're all good? All right, so this is all that we were going to get through today because I wanted to make sure you guys were getting all caught up. If you have not completed your Module 8 project, you might as well just hang here with me while you finish that up. That way you can ask me questions. If you have not finished your Module 9 Lesson 1 course arc and notebook, then it might be a good idea to hang here, and that way you can answer questions. Isaiah, are you here? I need to make sure you're paying attention. Okay, you have not taken your civics exam. That is a requirement for graduation. Like, you are putting your diploma in jeopardy. Kiona, are you here? I don't see Kiona. Jonathan, are you here? What about Melanie? Is Melanie here? Melanie, are you here? Okay. You have not taken your civics exam either. So Isaiah and Melanie, you guys are going to hang with me and you are going to go to the civics exam, and you're literally, while you are in here with me, you're going to go take it. It's an exam that is not through Honor Lock, it's through the state, so you can stay in the meet with me while you do it. That way you can let me know when it's completed. Emiko and Juliana and Sadie and William, I got yours. You are good. Okay. Melanie and Isaiah, do you understand what I'm asking you to do right now? Okay. And you know where to find it? So you're going to go take it. Remember, you have to make 30 out of 50 on it, okay? You can ask the other people in here who've already taken it. Like, you can totally do it. All right. Yeah, it is. Isn't it, William? I mean, this is information you guys have literally been learning all throughout school. And even though you weren't with me during first semester for government, I have absolute faith that you have enough information that you can totally ace this. All right. Do any of the rest of you guys have any questions? Do you need to talk to me individually? Anything you're unsure of? All right. So I am going to actually stop recording now, since we're just, yeah, give me just one moment, William, and I will go look. I'm going to stop the recording because I'm not actually going to be teaching anything else, but what I have done thus far will go into our lessons and recording page. Okay.